Hello and welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Ravelry and Plurk. And this is episode 20, Stockyard Explosion, Monday the 25th of March, 2013. Grab some sticks and string and come sit with me. Okay, so this week, I really have to say thank you to all the friends that I've made in BKNs because my mailbox was blown up by sock yarn, which you'll see in new things. Other happenings this week, I uploaded all of my podcast videos to YouTube, so you can find them there. Obviously, a link will be below in the show notes, below in the show notes. Let's see. I'm kind of distracted today because I am starving. Not because I haven't eaten. I had some strawberries and a Lean Pocket and some carrots and a slice of German chocolate cake. And normally that would be more than enough to get me to this point in the day, but no, today I'm just starving. Oh, another thing, the Cursed Cable Socks, I finished them a couple weeks ago. I don't know, earlier this month. Oh, I shouldn't touch that because it messes with my camera. Oh well, now my camera's messed with. It can't be undone. Fiber in the nose. The Cursed Cable Socks. They have been released on Ravelry. There will be a link in the show notes. If you go watch Mel Trans Design's Knitting Corner, I think it's called. I can't remember. I should have looked it up. Also will be linked in the notes. But if you go watch last week's episode, episode 15, I'm really fidgety today. Sorry. Try not to do that. There is a coupon code. So yes, go see that. Go knit the socks because they're really, really nice. Also, the person who I knit them for received them and he says that they fit really, really well, which is exciting. I made them for my mom's boyfriend for his birthday. That had to have been 2 weeks ago. Isn't that when Steve was home? Because when I was talking about that, that's when he made the inappropriate comment. Yes, I remember. Okay, on to stuff. The Mom's Day Craft Along is still going on. It started the 25th of February and goes through the 13th of May, which is the day after Mother's Day here in the U.S. If you're not in the U.S., still feel free to be a part of it. There's no rules saying that only U.S. viewers get to take part in my stuff. That would be silly. Sorry. You have to make something for a mom, but any way that you define mom fits. If you can rationalize it, I will accept it. It can be a new project or a work in progress. It does have to be a Ravelry sanctioned craft. And please tag your projects with BPHMOM for Bunnyfish Mom. Let's jump into finished objects. Oh, the dog. He touched my desk and things fell down. Sorry for that bending. The first thing, I finished this yarn. It is about 80 yards of bulky and it's just under 3 ounces of spinning. I have fiber in my nose. I'm going to keep doing this all day. Sorry. And it's a 3-ply, a true 3-ply. My earring just fell out. I'm going to put that back in. Oh, which side? No, that's the broken ear. This is the good ear. Can't look at the camera because it'll just confuse me. By the way, the broken ear is the ear that has a chip missing out of it because when I was like 8 or 9, my earring got ripped out. So I like to wear in the earring that has a second hole. I like to wear something that really shows up when I'm wearing earrings so that it's really obvious that there's not one over here. Anyway, 3-ply, bulky. It's got 2 plies of blue, 1 ply of purple. And this is going to my best friend. Merrily, this is coming to you in the package that I'm hoping to send out today, but went upstairs to get out of my slummy, I'm cleaning the house clothes that I put on first thing in the morning and put on something that I could actually go out in public in. And I stopped by the kitchen sink to wash my hands and looked out the window, and Steve had taken the Kia. We have 2 vehicles. The Kia is the family vehicle, and that is where the kids' car seats are. He left the Mustang, which is too small for the car seats. So I'm not going anywhere today unless he comes home on a break or gets here really, really early, gets home really, really early so I can go to the post office. So hopefully I'll go to the post office today, but maybe not. But this will be heading out. It's mystery fiber, both colors. I got those from Carrie, the lady who sent me that huge box of stuff during the Tour de Fleece last year. Also going to Mary Lee as a birthday present. You better act surprised when you get it. I won't be there, but you better still act surprised. I made a little distaff for Mary Lee. I made up the pattern. It is on a US size 2, 2.75 millimeter needles using Serenity sock weight yarn in the colorway Purple Spice. And it's got a little pocket right here that holds your fiber as you're spinning so it doesn't get all stuck. She's attempting to learn how to spin using a drop spindle. And I have one for me that I really, really like, and I know that one of the hardest parts about learning to spin was not dropping the fiber into the yarn as I was drafting. Or, you know, yeah, it's yarn. Once it's drafted out and spun, I consider it yarn. Not dropping the fiber into the single. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I made another one for one of my VKN friends, Becca. See, the fiber goes in here. Also my own pattern. That is made using Red Heart, Heart and Soul in the colorway Toasted Almond, US size 2, 2.75 millimeters. And the other thing I finished, it's right here. It's not where I put it when I set up to record. I blame the dog. This is a test knit for Jenna Mayer. This is the Blizzard headband. And Jenna is the dyer behind 716 Knit. Awesome yarns. I don't have any yet, but I will in June. So this is the headband, and it's got a button in the back, and lets my pigtails hang out. So it's really cute. It's got cable detail right here. I hope you can see because I can't see you. And then the lace. It was really, really quick. I did the first half one day and did the second half the next day. And if you were the type of person who just sat down and worked on something straight through, you could probably do it in, well, you could definitely do it in a day because it doesn't take that long. I think I'm actually going to wear this now. I'm just going to pull my bangs out because that bothers me. I'm being stuck. So yeah, I think I'm going to wear this for a while until I get too warm. This was made on US size 11, 8.0 millimeter needles. Sorry about that. I let my boy child Skype with my best friend, and he touched the camera and moved the cable from the camera to the front of my screen instead of in the back where it was. And I just didn't even think about it because I don't really look at my screen most of the time for anything. And yeah, now it's fixed. So where was I? Pretty sure that I was telling you that this was knit on a US size 11, 8.0 millimeter needles using Lion Brand Wool Ease in the colorway Willow. So look at that again. It's really, really cute. Turn around so you can see the button detail. The button I used on this is a handmade button made for me through a barter on Ravelry. So that was really exciting. I made this lady 5 pairs of fingerless mitts type things, one for her and one for each of her 4 kids, and she made me a bunch of handmade buttons. Oh yeah, the last thing I'm going to put in right here is the picture of Pattern Whisperer socks that I finished last week that I couldn't show you. She received them and she said that they fit and she really liked them. So yay, that's good. And she is going to test knit my pattern for me, which I'm actually having an issue with the chart. I have the chart written down on paper and trying to get the chart onto the computer. It's giving me a small problem, but I've almost got it fixed. What happened was I was inputting the symbols and skipped a row. So as I was inputting, like I skipped a row and it got off a column and row column. Yeah, so I should have that fixed and typed up and sent out to test knitters in the next couple days. I only have 2 test knitters, so if you're interested in doing the star socks, which I don't have an example of right this second, but it was knit out of this yarn, if you remember, the blues and greens. If you're interested in doing that, I only have 2 test knitters and I'd like a few more because there's a toe-up version and a top-down version. Ideally, I would like 3 for each, but I only have 2 total. So if you would like to test knit, get in touch with me. Send me a PM on Ravelry with your email address and I will have that pattern hopefully in the next couple days. On to works in progress. Leafy socks are first. I started the second one. Here's the first one. This is the Legolas pattern by Claire Ellen in the Fellowship of the Sock ebook. Have you knit this pattern? You out there? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Have you knit this pattern? Because I had to change the chart across the foot to make it frustrating. Got, 12 minutes into my recorded podcast. That was 40 minutes and the audio went out. So I hope the audio is working now. Re-recording. I'm pretty sure that where I left off was the Legolas sock made on US size 1, 2.25 millimeters using Madeline Tosh sock in the colorway Lichen. And the next project is the Black Thighs. I'm using Knit Picks Stroll in the colorway Black on US 2.75 millimeter needles. I showed you a couple weeks ago that I finished the first one. And there's the lace pattern on it. So now I'm doing the second one. I really need to make substantial progress on these 2 projects. I want to get them done by the end of the month. So not that long to go. Well, I want to get this done by the end of the month. And I want to get this to substantial progress, like almost a full sock. We'll see how that goes. I'm making this for my Nerd Wars dissertation, this and the blue thigh highs, and both pairs of thigh highs need to be done by the 28th of next month, and this is what the blue thigh highs look like. So I need to get working, seriously working. So this project is going to be my new during the day project. This is going to be my new evening project, and if this gets to be too much to handle during VKMs, I'm going to be working on this. That's my plan. My last work in progress right now is the mystery shell. So if you don't want to see the graphic infection, if you're working on it and you aren't to Clue 4 yet, I am. My babies, they're going to be awake now. It's no longer nap time. Hey, baby girl. So, here is Graphic Infection, designed by Josh Ricks of Geonitrix Designs. And I love the way this is working up. This is made on a US 5 3.75 millimeter needle using Nooch fiber in the colorway Stomping Grapes and Totally Goth. They're so beautiful and so squishy. So yes, I am halfway through the chart of Clue 4 officially. This is the first half of the chart. And there are 5 clues. Clue 5 is where you decide what size your shawl is going to be. I'm actually going to be putting this away after the podcast. I'm going to zip it into its bag, put it up on my crafting shelf upstairs to be not worked on until I make significant progress on the socks and the thigh highs. The socks are for a knit along that ends the end of this month, and then, you know, the thigh highs. I already told you. So I love this shawl. It is gorgeous. You can't purchase it right now, but after the mystery, after all the clues have been revealed, you'll be able to buy it again. And that is, yeah, that's the Graphic Infection by Josh Ricks. Pretty sure I said that, but just want to check since this is the second time I'm recording and I don't want to forget anything. Okay, on to what, I'm skipping the sock yarn blanket because I pinned it up to the wall. That is what I've been spending a lot of time working on in BKNs recently, and I need to be working on the thigh highs instead so I can get them done for the deadline. I know a lot of people don't like deadline knitting, but I actually really like it because it keeps me working on things that I really want to get done instead of just knitting on my blanket because I love it so, so much. On to what I'm reading. I finished Dark Currents, Agent of Hell by Jacqueline Carey, and it was really, really good, and I am ready for the second one, but that doesn't come out until October. So I started Sweater Quest by Adrienne Martini. This follows Adrienne's adventures in knitting an Alice Starmore sweater over the course of a year. I don't know if she finishes it because I'm only halfway through. I'm actually 2 pages past the halfway mark. She talks about the history of she talks about the Alice Starmore saga, and I'm so distracted right now. My favorite part so far has been where she compares knitting and golf. It's such a shift away from all of the fiction that I've been reading to read this nonfiction. Apparently I will have the baby in my lap. Hi. Oh, you're covered in chocolate cake. She had chocolate cake for after lunch dessert. Look at that face. Look at that face. All that chocolate cake. No. I'll be right back. I'm going to put her knot on me. Okay, on to the really exciting part. The reason why this episode is called what it is. Stockyard Explosion. My mailbox was blown up with yarn. And also there was some non-mailbox blowing up. But let's start. You can't see it, but I have a ton of sock yarn to show you. I'm going to show it to you in the order at which it arrived. So, on Monday, I got this. This is, can you see that the yarn has sparkles in it? Oh, I think you can tell a little bit. I don't know what this yarn is, but I do know that it came from my friend Lisa. And it's beautiful. And I've actually already put it in the sock yarn blanket. Let's see. Which way do I need to turn so you can see the sock yarn blanket? This way. Okay. And this square right here Yes, that square right there is made out of this. There is enough of this yarn left to make another big square, but I think I'm going to make several smaller squares. I don't usually buy sparkly sock yarn, sparkly yarn in general, but I really, really, really like it in my blanket. I just wouldn't, it's not what I gravitate toward, but it's gorgeous. You can't even see how gorgeous it is because you can't see that it's all sparkly, but it's seriously beautiful. I mean, well, which way am I turning? This way. Look at that square. That's fantastic. That same day, which was Monday, I don't know if I said that, I got my Nooch fiber order, which I hope means that, Linda, you have yours too. I got a mini. That is not showing true. It's more of a royal. It's not quite so bright. And I've actually already made a square out of it. Oh, you can't see it. You see how it's folded over? See how it's folded over on top? It's this square is folded over. So it was actually twice this size. Next up, Central Park Fingering. It's 100% superwash merino in light fingering single ply. I got this for a swap partner of mine. Her favorite colors are gray and red. So I showed her the yarns and made her choose once I got them. And she decided on the red, she decided on the gray. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this red, which is gorgeous. This is a light spot. It's not a reflecting spot. You can see there's more light spots. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm thinking maybe Meltran Designs has a couple things, a couple patterns that I want to try, but I haven't looked at yardage and stuff for it. Be right back. The red is called Rogue Rouge, and the gray is called Slate, and they're both so beautiful. And then Wednesday, pretty sure it was Wednesday, I got a package from another friend. Her name is Natalie, and she sent me sock yarn, big quantity sock yarn. So this is Dream in Color Smooshy. She used it to make a baby sweater. This is Miss Babs, which she used in this String Theory scarf. This is Malabrigo sock, which either she didn't tell me what she used it in or I forgot to write it down. This is Fiber Nymph Dye Works. It doesn't have light bits like that. It's a darker pink. She used this in Stripe Study. And this is my favorite. This Happy Feet. She used it to make a preemie hat. I love that all of these yarns have a story. Not that I need all of the yarns to have stories. I'm perfectly happy for my friends to send me little bits of yarn that don't have stories, but I like them when they have stories. This would be just as good if it was the Natalie square. The Lisa squares, I love. Well, the Lisa square, but there will be squares. I love. They don't need any more story than that. It's just, thank you guys so much, both of you. Okay, next story. On Friday, we have a new postal worker. I have noticed, because I wash the lunch dishes right around the time that the mail is being delivered, and the window looks out over the parking lot, so I can see the postal worker going around to all the townhouses and delivering the mail. We don't have a regular postal worker. It's almost always a different person. Sometimes when you get a package, they knock on the door, and sometimes they don't. Well, this particular postal worker knocked on the door when he dropped off this package, and Gabriel went running for the door, and I was like, no, because Molly was out of her cage, and Molly will bolt out the door if you open it. Well, if Gabriel were to open it. If I open it, I stand in the doorway and keep my leg in the doorway so she can't nose her way out. But Gabriel was opening the door, so I was like, no! So I grabbed Molly, and then I was like, okay, now you can go get the box. So he came in and he said, surprise, happy birthday! That's what he's been saying recently. He tells me to close my eyes, and so I close my eyes. He says, surprise, happy birthday! It's a present! So he handed me this. And I was like, that's really, really strange. I didn't order anything from Knitpicks. I should preface the story by telling you that last week or something, I think it was last week, in a VKN, we were all talking about surprises and secrets and stuff because I was VKNing with Josh in particular. And possibly you recall in episode 3 that I said that I'm really, really difficult to surprise, because I am. Because people usually give things away. I guess Josh took that as a personal challenge because, this is from Josh. I didn't know that though. I went to the kitchen and I started cutting the tape open, and I was thinking, well, maybe this is from Melissa, because my friend Melissa wants me to make her a pair of thigh highs, and I sent her to Knitpicks to look at their yarn because they're having a sock yarn sale right now. So I was like, well, maybe she ordered and she sent it to me. But I thought that was kind of weird because I had told her that I wanted to order a couple of things from Knitpicks, so if she was going to place an order, let me know and I would order with her since it was all going to be shipped to my house, and maybe we could have free shipping. But I opened it, and it was this. I was like, well, it wasn't exactly this. It comes in bags. And I was like, that's really weird. Melissa only wears pink and black. So I pulled out the invoice to see if there was a note or something, and the first thing I saw was Josh's name. So I freaked out, and I got on Plurk. Josh and I had been flirking back and forth because he had put up a Plurk saying, I want self-striping yarn, sock yarn, and someone needs to enable me. And if you VKN'd with me, you know I take that as a personal challenge. And I will totally enable you. But anyway, he and I were on Plurk, and as the mail was delivered, I was sending him something. And I got back on Plurk and made a Google Hangout, and I was like, Josh, hang out now. And he came in and he was like, hi, what's going on? And I said, do you know what this is? And he said, yes. So this is what he sent. Well, what he sent, basically. This is for socks for him. He took me up on my offer to make him socks. Well, to make anybody socks. I put that out there a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago. I don't know. He took me up on the offer. And I'm going to be making him the pucker socks. I don't know who it's by. I'll tell you when I start working on it in a week or something. But this is what it is. How it works is the yarn, you change yarns every few rounds. I'm not sure. But it has really interesting construction. That's going to be them. Aren't they gorgeous? This is Knitpicks Stroll in Midnight Heather. It's a blue-greeny dark color. And this is Knitpicks Fleecy in Aquarium. And they are gorgeous. But then there's more. Aren't they beautiful? He sent these for me. And they are beautiful. This is Stroll Fingering in Canopy Tonal. And this is Stroll Fingering in Springtime Tonal. Do you know how much I enjoy green? Can you see how excited I am? Because now I'm getting like blush because I'm so excited. So yes, they're beauteous. And I love them. And Josh, you win. You win. I was surprised. I was completely surprised. Regain composure here. So once I stopped freaking out about this package, I decided to go see if there was, regular mail. And I was greeted with this little monster package. Isn't he cute? This is from Lisa. What? You think you recall hearing Lisa? That's because you did. She sent me 2 packages in 1 week. The second package is a little monster. Isn't he adorable? I think he's super adorable. But he doesn't have a name. So I'm asking all of you, if you have suggestions for a really, really adorable little monster. Because I just can't think of a name right now. He is a boy. I've decided that much. Maybe I should hold him over here since there's all this dead space. My monitor got tilted and I could mess with the camera, but I'm not going to. So, I don't have a name for him. If you have a thought, go ahead and put it in the Ravelry thread for this episode or post it to the blog or put it on a plurk or something. Just let me know what you think. Because he's too cute to be without a name, and he has been without a name here in this house since Friday. Help me! I need a name! Oh, did you hear that? He's asking for your help. I know you can't say no to that. Also in that package, more sock yarn. This one. And this one. This one. And these 2 I'm going to show you at the same time because they're vying for my favorite. And I'll show you one at a time. This one and this one. I think they are also gorgeous. So gorgeous. So, Lisa, Natalie, Josh, thank you so much. So much. You don't even know. Well, okay, Josh, you know how excited I got. But Natalie and Lisa, you don't even know how exciting it was to open these packages. But the yarn doesn't stop there. Although I'm going to stop talking here because I think Mara wants some juice. I'll be back. Sunday, before I went to knitting group, I stopped at Joann's because Mary Lee asked why she didn't have any socks. And rightfully so, she should. So she and I went through Ravelry patterns and she found a pattern that she liked. And I asked her what color she would like them made out of. And she said gray. So I got enough yarn to make what she wanted in 2 shades of gray. The yarn company and we're going to quibble a little bit because this is their charcoal and this is their navy. Does that look right to you? Because I don't think this is charcoal and I don't think this is navy. I would call this charcoal and I would call this like dove gray. But whatever. I gave her the option to pick whether she wanted light or dark and she picked the dark. But, after you see it in different light and you get to see it move around, if you decide you want the light instead of the dark, just let me know. You can have it. I haven't started it. Obviously, that was a message to Mary Lee. The other, whichever one she doesn't pick, I'm going to use to make thigh highs for a friend of Amanda's. Also a friend of mine, but a friend of Amanda's, my sister. So, those were my Joann's purchases. And then, when I got to knitting group, I received something from one of my friends, and she had gone to the Pittsburgh Knit and Crochet. And when I found that out, I was like, can you go to Fiber Nymph Dye Works booth and see if you can get me some Inversibles? And she said, okay. So she went. She doesn't talk like that. I just made that up. So she went, and she did, in fact, score me some Inversibles. If you've been watching, you know that bubblegum pink is not my thing. So, I'm excited that I got Inversibles. but it's not colors that I am really in love with. I'm not even really in like with them. I'm like, they're nice. They're nice, but they're not for me. So if you have Inversibles and you would like to trade because you love these colors and you got some Inversibles that you only kind of liked because they sell out like this, then let me know and we can trade Inversibles. But I really, really want Inversibles. I think the concept is awesome. I think it's fantastic. So I have Inversibles. I'm on to the very last thing, which came today. Maybe you recall that, by the way, Fiber Nymph Dye Works, I'm really excited to have, and I have been wanting some of it for a long time. So I'm not going to fight the colors unless someone else wants those colors. Another dyer that I wanted stuff from for a long time is, can you read that or is there too much glare? Oh, there you go. Hippie Penguin. Yes. I got Hippie Penguin. I have had the first two colors that I'm going to show you on my favorites list on Etsy for a long time. These were part of the series that she did for, based on The Hobbit. I'm really sorry about Mara in the background. Can't do anything about it. I keep trying, but I can't do anything about it. They are both 100% BFL. This one is the Grey Wizard. You're jealous, Josh? Because you should be. And this one is the Dwarf King. Let me go ahead and show you her card. Hippie Penguin Fibers. You can find her on Etsy. So these are gorgeous. I've never worked with 100% BFL wool yarn before, so I'm excited for that. And these colors are amazing. But the reason why I had to order from her, is this color that I'm going to show you. Did you see that little sneak peek down in the corner? Last week or the week before or sometime in the recent past, she put a call out on Plurk for podcasters who are interested in colorways. And I was like, colorways inspired by their shows. And I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. So I put my name in, and how she determined colorways was she looked around at Ravelry, and she looked at Etsy favorites, and she looked at, she actually watched episodes of the podcast to, get a feel for the podcasters. And she did her research really, really well. Are you ready? I don't think you're ready. Brace yourself. That is the Bunnyfish Crafts colorway. Can you? This is amazing. This is so beautiful. It's greens and browns and cream and white and just amazing. And if you like this color, I'm not even going to say love. I'm going to say if you like it or you know someone in your world who would like this colorway, you can get it. She has pre-orders up in her Etsy shop right now, which of course everything is going to be linked in the show notes, which I am actually doing today. And I'm doing last week's show today too. I'm not going to let myself VKN until show notes are done. And if you haven't been in a VKN with me, then you don't know this, but I VKN pretty much every night. And you should VKN. If you want to VKN, find me on Plurk, and I don't always put up hangouts, but if you're on my timeline and you're like, hey, is there a hangout? I usually join one or start one around 8 p.m. my time, which is Eastern. So if you throw up a Plurk that says, hey, is there a VKN? And it's around 8 o'clock and there's not one, then we will start one. And if there is one, I'll give you the link. And you can join us because VKNs are really, really, really fun. VKN stands for Virtual Knit Night, in case She didn't know. Anyway, back to this yarn. Oh, it's so gorgeous. So if you or someone you know would like this, this is 100% superwash merino, 100 grams, 400 yards. She has this up for pre-order in her Etsy shop, and it will be linked, and go get some because this is seriously beautiful. I need to think of the perfect project for this. I might even have to go buy a second skein just so I can have it. Gosh, so beautiful. Bunny Fish Crafts colorway. How amazing is that? Okay, I'm done gushing over yarn. And I'm hoping that the sound is working and that you can even hear Mara's singing duck right now. I also hope that you made something fantastic with your sticks and string. Thank you for hanging out. Watch for the credits after the show to find out how to get in touch with me. And I hope to see you next week. Bye.